Alright, so we're doing exercise 7c, and in this video I'll be answering question 2e, which is getting us to repeat what we did in question 1, but this time we're starting with the graph y equals 1 over x. Alright, then we have to do a dilation of a factor of 2 from the x-axis, followed by a translation of 2 units in the positive direction of the x-axis and 3 units in the negative direction of the y-axis. So a lot is going on with our transformations. So again, we have two ways of approaching this problem. First is by inspection, and the other way is with our formal method. And it's very important that you know how to do the formal method way. But let's begin by just doing it by inspection. So we begin with what we've been given, which is our original graph, y equals 1 over x. Then the first transformation that we're going to do is a dilation of a factor of 2 from the x-axis. Now, when I'm dilating from my x-axis, the way I like to think about it is I'm just timesing this by whatever the factor is. So here it's 2, so it's just going to be 2 times 1 over x. And a nicer way to write that is 2 over x. All right, let's go on to the next one. Our next transformation, a translation of 2 units in the positive direction of the x-axis. So I know that when I'm translating in the x-axis, it's going to look like this. So I'm going to get my x and minus 2 from it. 2 units in the positive. All right, perfect. Next, the next thing I'm doing is 3 units. So it's another translation of 3 units in the negative direction of the y-axis. So I'm taking this, y equals 2 over x minus 2. But now it's 3 units in the negative y direction. So I'm just going to minus 3 at the end. So we have just answered the question by inspection, but now let's move on to the far more important thing, which is using our formal method to answer it. The first step is find the image, which is this. This is the image of the point. So here's our original point, which is going to lie somewhere on our original graph. Then we're going to apply a transformation and arrive at a new point, and we want to find what this is. So all I've done is just written the same thing down here. So here's my original point. I'm now going to apply a transformation, and we know what that is. I'm going to do a dilation of a factor of 2 from the x-axis. So what that is going to mean is I'm going to take my y and times it by 2. So I'm going to get 2y. Next, followed by a translation of 2 units in the positive direction of the x-axis. So that means I'm going to take my x and plus 2 to it. Then the last thing I have to do is another translation of 3 units in the negative direction of the y-axis. So that means I'm going to come here to my y and minus 3 from it. Then close my brackets. So this is our image of this point. This is our new point, which is the same as this. So what I could say is that my x dash is going to equal x plus 2, and my y dash is going to equal 2y minus 3. Perfect. Next, let me grab this and let us now move on to our second step, which is all about rearranging. So I don't want it to be x dash equals, I want it to be x equals. So I'm going to rearrange it so it's like that. So I'm going to get x dash minus 2 equals x. So I just minus 2 from both sides. And same thing over here, I want it to be y equals. So that will be y dash plus 3 divided by 2 equals y. So I plus 3 to both sides, then divided both sides by 2. So notice in my first step, I got x dash equals and y dash equals. Step 2, I got x equals and y equals. And now in step 3, I'm going to find my new equation by starting with my original and subbing in my new points, and that will give me my new equation. So I know that y equals y dash plus 3 over 2. So I come here, and instead of writing y, I write y dash plus 3 over 2. And I know instead of x, it's going to be x dash minus 2. X dash minus 2. Now I'm going to rearrange it so I have y equals. So I'll times 2 to both sides. So I'll get 2x dash minus 2. Then I'm going to minus 3 from both sides. Minus 3. And that is what I'm going to end up with. And you don't put the dashes in your last bit. You just leave it as is. So that's my new equation. Y equals 2 over x minus 2 minus 3. And notice that this is the same as this. Hopefully this video was helpful in answering these questions. If you have any issues, come talk to me. I'm happy to help.